Well, good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? This is Father Don. I believe it's Friday morning. I might be filming this on a different day, so the weather might be different by Friday. As I film, I'm getting these pop-up messages and people trying to get a hold of me. But anyway, as we begin the day, let us get right to the Psalm. And today, on Friday, usually in the church, we have a very common prayer, and it allows us to usually repent on Friday because it's associated with Good Friday. So every Friday we do Psalm 51 in the church in our office of readings here. So again, on Psalm 51 is the famous psalm that have mercy on me, God, in your kindness and your compassion blot out my offense, or wash me more and more from my guilt and cleanse me from my sin. Give me again the joy of your help, and with a spirit of fervor sustain me, that I may teach transgressors your ways and sinners may return to you. O rescue me, God, my helper, and my tongue shall ring out your goodness. O Lord, open my lips, and my tongue shall declare your praise. So, this beautiful song, once again, we see the necessary need for us to do our repentance from time to time and not let it build up, because sometimes we end up rationalizing our sin or saying it's not important, or we didn't hear any thunder come down from heaven, so it must be okay, and it's not. So again, we ask every Friday. I try to get to confession as often as possible myself, maybe at least every 2 weeks, but again, these are hard times for everyone. So as we gather today to hear this call to conversion, with regard to penance, I have spoken about this, of course, many times. And again, I consider it like getting rid of the garbage, and again, not letting it pile up. You begin to stink when you do. People can see what's in your heart, and it shows in your face, and then people don't want to hang around with you because you're in an awful mood, or you're perceived as having an awful mood. So again, so this tendency to clean the house and also get rid of the garbage so we don't end up stinking is something that the church offers us in the sacrament of confession. So again, every night we're allowed to do the act of contrition before we go to bed for that very purpose. Should God call us during the night to our eternal home, that we will be at least in a state where we have made an effort to reconcile with God. So as we gather today on this Friday too, I know there's a lot of things going on, and things are changing by the day, so what is news one day could be upgraded or changed for situations that we are experiencing during this virus. One of the things that comes out with Mother Teresa today, she's been dead a little while now, but her wisdom again is found in some books. It says, every day, everybody seems to be in a terrible rush, anxious for greater development and greater riches, so that children have little time for their parents, and parents have little time for their children and for each other. So the breakdown of peace in the world begins at home. This reflects a world we used to enjoy, I guess, if you want to say that. A world we used to enjoy a few weeks ago when everybody was keeping their hustle and bustle going. And again, so what happens now when we're all under one roof, and how do we deal with these personalities we haven't paid attention to? They're family members. And again, parents and children have an opportunity now to see this maybe as a blessing of reliance and interdependence, so that we can work together to try to get beyond these situations. And it's something we're called to do as a nation. So it does start at home. You can teach your children to appreciate this codependency, and a healthy codependency, or an interdependency, I want to say, that we can rely on each other to get through these times together. So in the nation, we too are seeing a lot of changes, and again, I would just like to address some of them. as we are about to enter into Holy Week next week. I know these holidays and holy days are going to be very lonesome. It was a time for the church and family gatherings, and that's not going to happen this year. The social distancing and the stay-at-home restrictions are being extended for another 4 weeks. Oh. So also, that's my dog barking in the background. And again, so the social distancing now, which we thought 6 feet was enough, we're finding out is not enough. And we really are discovering something new about this virus every single day. So please stay safe. We will not be distributing palms this Palm Sunday, obviously. Some ministers are being arrested, and again, we are told not to gather in large crowds. And when the government says that, they have reason to say it. And again, we're seeing that people who did gather on spring break or at this social or this funeral, again, are bringing the virus back home with them. And again, it's just causing more havoc. So we will keep the palms in cool storage for a few weeks. And again, we'll let you know when we're going to distribute them. I know you all make fancy crosses and things with them. So again, we will hold on to them until it's safe to distribute them. Also, we will not be having any Holy Thursday, Good Friday, or Easter Sunday services. We will be televising, as we often have, these holy services. They will be streamlined. There will be fewer processions and blessings and all of that. And we will focus on the main central part of our liturgy, which is the Mass, the Holy Mass. So even in these situations, we will come to you, hopefully live streaming, and again, otherwise on YouTube, and be able to share these experiences still in spiritual communion with you. So this Lent has turned out to be something completely different than any of us had planned. And all the silly resolutions that we had come up with are certainly far from what God is calling us to. So we're coming to know who is God and also who's in charge. And we have to surrender with humility to that, knowing that we are not in charge. We never were. We thought we were, but we're not. And again, as we see this virus take over our nation now, it's no longer just across the ocean. It's not their fault over there in China or Asia or Europe. Everybody's going through this. And again, even Americans and even Catholics. So please don't think you're immune from this simply because of your strong faith. We even have churchmen that are experiencing some illness as well. So one of the things that might impact us in the few days is that the governors in some state are requesting churches to not even open for spaces of private prayer. We have kept our chapel open and continue to do so until we hear otherwise. But do not be surprised if it has to close someday. Again, we just are learning that this virus hangs around a lot longer. And again, when you sneeze or cough anywhere, we find ourselves spraying the walls and the chairs and everything. So again, this constant wipe down is very important. You at home and you have children, please get those doorknobs and handles and all of those things cleaned as often as possible. And certainly keep your hands away from your face. This is how the virus gets on to people. We just touch a doorknob or a can of corn at the supermarket or something that is infected, and then we go home and we watch TV and we put our hands by our face. And again, this is how we get the virus. So again, please teach your children to be safe. The president did announce that we are going to see the death tolls rise maybe to 100,000 people just in the United States, and maybe 200,000. So again, we just do not know where this is going or how many are being affected, but I am hearing personal stories already, local people in our parish who have loved ones either in another state or maybe locally who are experiencing the virus all around them. and there's been deaths in the family. So it is coming our way, and again, we just ask and pray that you will all stay as safe as possible. It's very, very hard. And some of the stories we see on the news with people unable to see their loved ones die, unable to say goodbye, or watch a baby be born. All of these restrictions are extremely, extremely hard on some of these couples and families. So please just keep them all in prayer, and let's support each other with prayer. I was watching a story this morning of a young boy who was telling us that his mother passed away, and they were able to speak through a glass to her through a walkie-talkie and say their goodbyes to her. She was the mother of 6, and now his being the oldest in the family, I don't think he was 14, but whatever, it's a terrible thought that security of the home and a roof over your head and food being given to us, and just trying to get by with basics might fall on the shoulders of a young man like that. I'm sure relatives will come forward, but again, it's just as we don't even have time to grieve in this situation. So again, we're just being called to a new way of living, and hopefully it'll be for just a short period of time. And finally, of course, there's the financial hardships, which everybody's going to be going through. Some people have been laid off, some people are being paid, some people are not being paid. The government's paying some people, and the government's not paying some people. So we're all waiting to see how we're going to get through the 6 or 8 weeks that we've had to have this virus upon us, and also extending every aspect of our lives. And so extended credit or relief from temporary payments of bills will need to be made up. So please save, don't hoard, don't buy more than you need or overspend. I'm sure when this is over, everybody's going to get back to normal, whatever that was. And again, be expecting to start up their businesses again. The church is no different. And again, I just want to put out there that I know a lot of you are out unemployed and don't have an income, or trying to hold on to your money, not knowing what the future holds. And that is perfectly fine with me, really. I have no problem with that. But the church here does rely solely on charity. If people are in a good mood or feel like giving, that's what we rely on. And sometimes they're good, and sometimes they're slacking. And again, we just want to see that. I just want to put some figures out there so you'll know ahead of time what we might be going through. Not just as an individual parish, but as a diocese, the whole state of New Hampshire, of all our churches. This is the bishop's problem. Thank God. I don't have to worry about the finances. But at the same time, we do rely on your charity. And again, we don't think we'll get bailed out by the government by any means, but there might be something there. So we'll all wait and see. But as you know, we do bring in about $6,000 to $8,000 a week. So if you multiply that by 4 weeks, you've got over $48,000 of debt in 1 month. It's a significant amount. So if you do it for several months, you're going to have problems. And the bishop has 100 parishes throughout New Hampshire. So again, you take that $50,000 of debt 1 week in one parish and multiply it by 100 parishes, you got $500,000 right there that this bishop is going to have to find to be able to keep the churches open. So we don't know what's going to happen. So I just want to put that out there. We do have savings here, but not every parish does. Some parishes need to bring in $1 million a year just to support their buildings. And again, it's going to be a tough time for our parishes as well. So again, when they're not getting that $1 million a year, again, Bishop may have to make some calls when this is all over. So we do have some savings here, and we are paying our employees this month. And again, some have offered to give it up, and then doing so, we'll try to get by this without spending too much money. But I still have to pay bills as they come along, and I just signed about $11,000 of bills when we didn't have that kind of income coming in. So I've been reassured that I'll be working maybe up to the summer, and again being paid. So again, I'm in this with you, and we're all in this together. So let's not worry, but let's just see where we're going to be. And I want to put that out there because it's not a visible thing right now. With nobody going to church, we don't stop and think of how we survive here in the parish. So we'll look at it again maybe in June. And then I just want to, again, just keep up with you in these matters. So things may not be the same when we come back. But as I close out today's little ditty, I just want to tell you that I am doing laundry today. I knew you were waiting to find out. And one thing that happened this morning is, and I found how science works here with nature, that I also wanted to do a load of laundry, which I did. So what happened was I turned on the wash machine, then I went upstairs to shower, and then I found out that I was in a fight for the water in the shower because the wash machine was going. So in doing so, I lost the fight. I was all lathered up, and my skin's going dry in a shower. Can you imagine the irony of that? My skin is going dry because I got soap all over me, and it's a wet shower, but at the same time I'm going dry. And then I had to wait for the wash cycle to stop, then to rinse off, and I lost that battle too. I just was not quick enough. So that's the way my day's going, and I know you two are having those little challenges, and we'll be able to laugh at them, in a few months and see what happens and share our stories. So until then, please have a great day. Please keep the children safe about hygiene and touching doorknobs and everything, and just washing their hands. And may I suggest that maybe that as we wash our hands, that we they used to saying happy birthday with that, but you can always also get a couple of Hail Marys in there instead of happy birthday. So when you're washing hands, do an Our Father, Hail Mary, Glory be, and you'll be sparkling clean. And again, you'll also have some prayers on the way to heaven for you. So until tomorrow or the next day I film, please make it a good day. And again, keep smiling. Okay? God bless.